Ripple, the new Apple of crypto? We're going to find out today.
I ain't gonna give in now, I just gotta live this now. I'm gonna be man, I'ma kill this stuff real quick. I'ma go take it to town, cause I gotta be that king in the ring when I'm knocking them out when I'm back with the whip. Cause I am just up on the journey, you know that I'm just going to say.
Warriors, rise. Grand rising and good evening, warriors all over the world. My name is Coach Shavy, and my mission on this channel is to help support you in this new transition from Web 2.0 to Web 3.0 to industrial to technical, and help you understand how you can take advantage of the biggest shift in generational wealth that we have ever seen in our living history. As we transition from 2023 to 2024, it's going to be one of the biggest transitions you've ever seen, going into the Great Recession, into the Great Reset, into a brand new financial system, a brand new ecosystem, how we communicate, how we do our finances. Now, if you need support, please watch till the end of the video and I'll show you how we can support you through this. So saying that Ripple is a new Apple of crypto is a bold statement. And I'm going to break down facts, figures, numbers, logic. Now, I want to share with you guys, I'm a big XRP fan and a Ripple, the company fan, and here's why. I also have XLM, Ethereum, Quant, HBAR, many different cryptocurrencies that have intrinsic value and real world solve. I'm a Warren Buffett style investor in cryptocurrency. The reason why I don't sit here and go after other cryptocurrencies or things like that, or now people would say maybe tribalism in regards to XRP, but I own multiple cryptocurrencies. I'm a big fan of XRP because of the actual cross-border payment solve. I used to work in banking. Now, here's the reason why I think Ripple, the company, okay, there's Ripple, the company, and then there's XRP, the token, is the new Apple of crypto, is how well it's run, how innovative they are, and how their CEO is out in the front, leading from the front. Another thing to think about is Ripple has never paid an influencer to pump XRP. This is a real intrinsic value company that is going to be on the stock market, that is going to be running big things in the banking system. Now, I'm going to be going over a video tomorrow where people in the TikTok space are like, oh, your Bank of America, JP Morgan are all coming up with their own wallet, and that's going to get rid of XRP. People have to understand how banking works. It's a wallet, right? XRP is a cross-border payment. Ripple is a company with very, very innovative technologies to help in cross-border payments, on-demand liquidity, XRPL, an ecosystem. And there's many other companies as well that are going to succeed. XLM is for the people. XRP is for commercial banks, okay? So we're going to break this down. So this is Brad Garlinghouse. You have to think about this for just a moment. Sitting at the World Economic Forum in front of regulators, right? He is sitting with the World Economic Forum. They're part of the World Economic Forum. The World Economic Forum, Larry Fink sits on the board of trustees. His mission is to move the mission and purpose of the World Economic Forum. Okay, so think about that for just a moment. Brad Garlinghouse is sitting at the World Economic Forum. He's in all these different panels, but everybody thinks Ripple and XRP is going to go to zero, which is such an interesting dynamic to me. It shows that people aren't really understanding the intrinsic value of being an investor or understanding the intrinsic value of investing. So I want you to listen. First of all, this lady that's doing the interview, if you watch this whole thing, she's super arrogant, but I just had to put that out there. She is like very, very, anyways, but doesn't really matter. But just her interview style is really interesting, very condescending. But Brad does such a great job. He's articulate. He is poised. He is educated. He understands the ecosystems. This dude is highly, highly, highly connected. I believe Ripple is going to monopolize and be one of the biggest crypto companies in the world. I truly, truly believe that. Okay, so let's watch this quick video, and then I'm going to break down what's happening with the SEC, FTX, and all the chaos that's happening within the markets, and why we're heading into regulation. And when we have institutional adoption, that's when we're going to see some massive price appreciation.
Brad, you have already made the distinction between XRP, the token, and Ripple, the company. You are the only... You're a regulated entity, or you're speaking on behalf of a regulated entity. When folks talk about, these different sorts of provisions, you are the person.
Okay, so key, you are a regulated entity. So Ripple is a regulated entity. Listen to what he says. Listen to what he says. So SEC is suing Ripple, the company, around XRP, but didn't do shit about FTX. Really think about that for just a moment. They sued Ripple, the company, around XRP, but didn't do shit about FTX. They are a regulated company.
Or your various teams doing the paperwork, providing evidence of baseline trustworthiness. What is it like to be a non-bank financial services provider operating at the intersection of these very traditionally regulated financial institutions and less traditionally regulated, less traditional financial institutions?
It's exciting. I feel a obligation to advocate for. There are these new technologies that we can use for the betterment of economic value to our citizens, to our businesses, even to central banks. And I think to the extent we can focus on, hey, these are new technologies that can be used in that way. Like the earliest days of the internet, can these technologies be used in illicit ways? Yes. And certainly we saw the early days of the internet and people called for bans of the internet.
And to be clear, the current days of the internet as well.
Oh, yeah, I guess. Yeah. Well, although there is a much louder, higher decibel level call.
And to be clear, this lady, I'm sorry.
In maybe the 90s when people were, I think, more intimidated by how these technologies are being used.
So let's break down what they're talking about. So basically, anytime a new technology comes out like the internet, everybody was really scared of it, right? It was scary. All your stuff's going online. Everybody said they would never bank online, blah, blah, blah. Now everybody banks online. Everybody's all scared of cryptocurrency. It's more secure than your damn banking system right now. It's more secure than the SWIFT system. I'll tell you that much. Anyways, but so it's important to understand what he's saying. They're in the forefront of this movement into Web 3.0.
And I think we're seeing that play out in the world of blockchain as well. I thought it was interesting you described the UAE regulatory as light touch.
Instead of described as light touch.
Oh, described as light touch. All right. I actually give huge credit to the UAE.
Do you have a VARA license?
No, we do not.
This lady, man, I'm sorry. She is like silly.
Although we might, I don't know the exact answer to that, but we do not currently. The point I would make, though, is...
You do not.
Thank you. The point I would make, though, is the UAE has done the work to codify what the regulations are. I think the challenge, and we discussed this before we got up here, I think the vast majority of players in the crypto space want to be good actors. But I think we have to be clear about what that means. And I think one of the challenges is, and I very much agreed with something the commissioner said, we talk about regulating crypto. I think we should, that's an abstract thing to say from my point of view. We need to regulate the activity. But what is it that we're doing? So Ripple is in the business around cross-border payments. Our customers are banks. Our customers are regulated institutions. You can't have a non-KYC, know your customer transaction, et cetera. There are lots of regulations around payments, like know your customer, like AML, anti-money laundering, like OFAC compliance in the United States, et cetera, anti-terrorism finance. So I think when we say crypto is not regulated, I hear that and I think, I don't know what that means. Like Ripple is a very regulated company in lots of different jurisdictions, not yet in UAE perhaps. Although I don't know the exact status in UAE. The point, as much as anything, I think it's a misnomer to describe crypto as an unregulated business. In the US, you have in the SEC, someone at the chair saying it's the Wild West. Look, there are clearly examples where that's true, but there are a lot of people solving real problems for real customers and taking the air and the froth out of the hype and speculative bubble that really was true in crypto, I think is really healthy.
Okay. So just super articulate, right? So Ripple is a regulated company. They're working with banks that are regulated, right? Know your customer, all the different things that are happening within banking system. They have to be regulated through that, right? So they're already a member, guys. They were the company that was meeting with the SEC asking, are we doing anything wrong? No, we're good to go. But here's what the SEC is doing. And this is why this case is so critical. And people, the tribalism, we have to stop with this stuff, guys. If Ripple loses this case, holy shit, it is catastrophic for the crypto industry, just so you guys know. Okay. So this is so critical what we're talking about here. He's sitting with regulators. Brad Garlinghouse is sitting with regulators once again in the fire den with them, and whatever that works, if they're working behind the scenes, whatever this, he's the one taking shots with regulators sitting there. They're a regulated institution, right? XRP is being used as a cross-border payment all over the world. But we have our SEC that is going after Ripple, the company. Why, though? Here's why. how Congress is gearing up to regulate cryptocurrency, and an industry is finally earning the priority status it desperately wanted, but for the wrong reasons. So the wrong reasons. Well, I think it was all by design. But before FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried was charged in the epic fraud that two of his former lieutenants said he orchestrated, he was Washington's favorite proxy for the crypto world. As one of the industry's chief ambassadors of Capitol Hill, the approach CEO spent an awful lot of time with lawmakers. So his unmasking as an alleged villain is not that much more damaging to the industry, is much more damaging to the industry. Not only that, he and the over-the-top FTX officials were a shocking wellspring of campaign funding in the last election cycle, giving directly to no fewer than 1 in 3 Congress members, and recent CoinDesk analysts showed, and indirectly to many more. Now it's up to the 196 senators and representatives to explain what they have done with the contributions from Sam Bankman-Fried. As this dude sitting here pushing for crypto regulation and being sued by the SEC, this is what our SEC is doing. More than 1 in 3 of the 535 senators and representatives in the United States showed up to the new session with FTX baggage, having received campaign support from one senior executive of the fraud-ridden crypto giant. CoinDesk has identified 196 of the new Congress members, many of whom were just sworn in last week, who took cash from Sam Bankman-Fried or other senior executives at FTX, a crypto exchange that filed for bankruptcy in Delaware. After the lawmakers received the money, it became clear, according to the work of the journalists, the criminal charges, and the admissions of guilt from FTX insiders, that the funds sprang from the colossal financial swindle. So basically, all these people got swindled, and our congressmen, these people who are supposed to be building the laws to protect us as citizens of the United States, were receiving money. This is the biggest scandal in history. Do you realize FTX just exposed a massive, massive problem? Now you got Ripple sitting with the SEC. If this case goes against Ripple, I'm telling you guys, I'd be shocked. And Ripple's not settling. They're going all the way through until they get it not to be a security. Now remember, this is about something that was happened. So remember, how this worked is XRP. They're saying that they funded Ripple's business practices through XRP. Okay. A cryptocurrency, if you follow Crypto Mom, who's in the SEC, a cryptocurrency can start out as a security and transition into a non-security because XRP can operate separate from Ripple. Okay, so this is what was Gary Gensler really doing? Rep Tom Emery on the FTX and the SEC, and what's next for Crypto Congress? So they're really pushing hard on this. So he said, but he gave us some nuggets. I think you're going to see a lot of bipartisan work to get to the bottom of why the Securities and Exchange Commission wasn't doing his job. Gary Gensler. He says, referring to the FTX meltdown, that was Chair Gensler and the company's real doing. He described Gensler as very arrogant and speaking from the mountaintop. And then we find out that he's working with a fraudster, and he bilked the people out of billions of dollars. Republican and Democrats are going to be involved in that. As for legislation, we are going to focus obviously on legislation and think it's going to be to place guardrails around the industry. Okay, so regulation's coming, and this is interesting. I want to show you this, but one thing I don't understand about this document, it's United States Senate Committee on Agriculture, Nutrition, and Forestry, but it's about digital commodities and consumer protection. So that part I don't understand, but it's a bipartisan bill. Karen Stubbo. So this is from the CFTC. So the background, it talks about the background, current risk, Digital Commodities Consumer Protection Act, and closing regulatory gaps. The bill provided the commodities, the CFTC, the authority to regulate the trading of digital commodities, mandating consistent, rigorous rules for the market participants. The rules hold digital commodity platforms to the same standards as traditional financial institutions. They are designed to protect consumers and empower them to make informed trading decisions. By requiring all digital commodity platform registered with the CFTC, this bill sets uniform national standards and enhances coordination with the international regulators. It also provides the CFTC with the necessary visibility into the marketplace, enabling it to respond to emerging risk to protect consumers. Okay, so the specifically in the bill, adhere to advertising standards and disclose information about digital commodities and their risks, bringing greater transparency and accountability to the marketplace. Authorize the CFTC to impose user fees on digital commodity platforms to fully fund its oversight in digital commodity markets. So basically what I'm understanding on this, and you guys can dive in if you have a little more clarity, is that basically the CFTC is going to be starting to oversee these platforms that are trading. So cryptocurrency exchanges are going to start to get regulated like crazy. Okay. 2022, first they resist it. Okay, cryptocurrency is a fraud. Jamie Dimon, it's a fraud. He's still telling you it's a fraud, but he tells you blockchain is here to stay, which is cryptocurrency. Okay, so he tells you crypto's a fraud, blockchain's here to stay. Okay, then we went into 2022, which is where they first they resist it, then they sue it. 2020. Okay, so then we went into 2022, then they regulate it, then they join it. We're now heading into the join phase, and that's where your key opportunity is to get into the game, warriors. So it's key to have a strategy. Very, very important. What is your strategy? The key is to have a community, and we're trying to help as many people. We are helping as many people as possible in 2023. So we're doing 7 days for free in 2023. People ask me all the time. I get thousands of messages a day from our 1.5 million followers worldwide. We're so grateful. JV, how do I get my shit together? I designed a program for you. 120-day challenge, subconscious mind programming, goal setting, fitness, vision, exactly how I built everything out. Inside of our academy, the 5 pillars of wealth, cryptocurrency courses, 7 calls a week. If you truly engage yourself, you'll have everything you need, and most of all, the community of like-minded people just like you. How many of you walk around and talk to people and they look at you like cross-eyed, like you're crazy? Imagine being around a group of people who understand exactly what you're going through, okay? Not everybody's going to get this. There's a small percentage of the population investing in this speculative asset, and you're one of them. But also, you have to be a smart investor in this economics, or in this economy, excuse me, based on what's happening with economics, okay? So very important, description down below. You can also get into X Royalty as how to get part of our online events. So if you want to buy a ticket to our online event and hold on to that NFT, it's going to gain value through our company growing worldwide, right? So X Royalty gets you access to our online events. It also gets you the opportunity to buy a ticket to our exclusive in-person events. So if you ever wanted to be part of our events, make sure you grab one of those X Royalty. So you can click down below. Everything will be in the description. I love you guys. I appreciate you. I appreciate all the support of the channel. And we're going to have a great day today. Let's get after it. Warriors, rise, get your shit together. Let's go.